An old steamship in poor mechanical condition. Part 9. Making some brass adapters to connect the safety valve on the boiler to the steam outlet pipe fitted to the superstructure, using a piece of high quality thick-walled silicone tubing. Modifying and connecting the gas tap to the burner via the gas cut-off valve. The safety valve on the boiler, as you can see, is a commercial fitting, and this blows off at £70 per square inch, and normally the excess steam would just blow off into the atmosphere if the boat was an open launch, but this one is not, it's a model steamship. On this boat it has to go up a pipe which is fastened to the chimney. There are many problems here. One is that this pipe that's fastened to the chimney is not very strong. In fact, the whole chimney mounting is not very strong. I will address that very shortly. The problem that I have with this is that the pipe, and you can see it with this fitting on it, is nowhere near being in line with the safety valve. What I'm doing at the moment is making a fitting for the safety valve. The part in the chuck currently is the outer sleeve. I'd already made this collar that sits on the safety valve and is held in place by the locking ring, and it sits on an O-ring, and this makes for a very nice snug fit for the outer cover. It does not lock in place. I don't want it to lock in place. I want it to be easily removed. And you'll see as I develop this idea that it's going to work and going to work very well. So the problem now is how to get a connection from this union nut to the safety valve cover. At first I thought I would use a fitting like this. The union nut fastens to the pipe, and the square part with the hole in the end, and of course there's going to be a hole down in the union nut, would be silver soldered to the safety valve cover. This clearly was not going to work. The alignment is wrong, and also the height was completely wrong, so I never bothered drilling the hole at the union nut end. I just put this in the scrap box. And in the end I went for this idea: a fitting that fastens to the pipe, and another fitting that fastens to the safety valve cover. And here are the fittings sat on the bench next to each other. The one on the left screws to the existing fitting on the exhaust pipe, and the one on the right is the safety valve cover. And all I have to do now is join these two fittings together with a suitable length of flexible pipe. And luckily, a few years ago, I bought some really good quality surgical grade silicone rubber pipe. I actually use it for feeding steam to engines on test runs. If you watch my other videos, you will have seen the stuff in action. But before I continue and fit the silicone rubber, I have to do something about this. This pipe is going to need considerable reinforcement. And so is the chimney mounting. That's quite weak too. There's quite a lot of daylight showing through some of the seams. Time now for some milliput. I'm going to use this for reinforcement. I've already used quite a lot of this pack, just reinforcing other parts of the boat. You can't see where it is, and that's the good thing about it. It's out of the way, but it's made the boat very strong. So what I'm going to do is reinforce the exhaust pipe where it comes through the deck, and also part of the superstructure. So just in case you haven't seen any of the previous videos, this milliput is a 2-pack epoxy putty, and what you do is take equal amounts of each of the components in the pack and mix them together thoroughly, and you end up with a putty that is very easy to mould, is water soluble, but once it cures and sets hard, it really is rock hard. And when this particular piece of milliput sets hard, it will reinforce the superstructure perfectly. This superstructure is going to be taken on and off the boat frequently to lubricate the engine, so this does not want to be a weak part of the job. As I mentioned also previously, the good thing about milliput is it doesn't end up looking rough, because using a little bit of water you can get a very smooth finish. This clip shows me fitting the part that I made, which will take one end of the silicone rubber pipe. And here's the other fitting that I made, sat on the safety valve. I ended up using an extra silicone rubber ring, so this is going to seal quite well. Here's the fitting with some silicone rubber tubing that I mentioned earlier fitted to it. It's really good quality stuff, this, very thick walled, and the whole thing fits together nicely. The silicone rubber is going to be longer than I need it, so it will actually loop down into the boat, and this pipe can really be left in position with the safety valve cap in place, because there's enough room to lift the superstructure off the boat, rotate it through 90 degrees and sit it back down on top of the boat, leaving enough space to get your hand in to lubricate the engine. The only problem with extension pipes on safety valves is that you do get some condensed water, so the first bit of steam that blows off is likely to give you a shower bath if you stood close. Here's the gas canister going into place. It's quite a tight fit if you put it in the wrong way, like I'm doing here. Anyway, the gas canister's in place, and the next thing to look at is the gas tap. Now this is a commercial gas tap, and it's quite good. One thing I don't like about it is the plastic hand wheel. I don't really like plastic hand wheels anywhere near a heat source, although in reality the heat source is not going to be anywhere near the gas canister. In any case, there is a problem. The height of the deck and the height of the plastic hand wheel do not match. The plastic hand wheel is taller than the deck. If I put a ruler across, you can see this. Not only is the hand wheel taller than the deck, the metal part is also taller, but that can be machined away. When I started to remove the hand wheel, and I thought it was held in place by the normal lock nut, I was quite surprised to find that no, it wasn't. It was just pushed onto a piece of hexagon like this. It was a pretend lock nut. So using a big pair of side cutters, I cut away the plastic hand wheel and was left with this. And once I'd cross-drilled the hexagon part and turned down the top of it, I have a valve that is ideal. It's exactly the right height and very easy to get hold of. I'm securing the cross piece, which is a piece of stainless steel, with some Loctite 638. But before using the Loctite 638, I roughened up the centre of the crossbar. This will give a good key for the 638 to grab. And once I applied the 638 to the crossbar, I rotated the crossbar so it spread it within the hexagon part. And once the Loctite had cured, I refitted the threaded part to the main body of the valve. Inside this nut that I'm currently tightening, there is an O-ring seal, so the whole thing is completely gas tight. And here is the modified gas valve, and it's nearly ready to fit into the boat, but before that I'm going to put some silicone rubber tubing on each end of the crossbar. This silicone rubber tubing is a commercial item, inasmuch as it's the outer insulation of some wire that I bought for wiring high-power batteries to radio-controlled cars. The gas system is now ready for piping. I have to connect a pipe between the gas valve on the left, which is the manual tap, and the emergency gas shut-off valve on the right. The pipe run is going to be quite long because the servo tray is at the stern of the boat and the gas tank is at the bow. Here you can see the servo tray, and you can see the servo that's going to operate the gas valve, which is the one on the right, and the servo on the left is going to operate the rudder. That's it for the gas system. I just need to pipe it. Here's the boat with the centre superstructure in place, and I'm just showing how easy it is to remove this. As you can see, you just lift it off. You don't worry about the fitting of the safety valve. The flexible pipe takes care of that, and you can position the superstructure on the boat wherever you want. And it's very easy to get your hand in, even my very large hands, to refill the displacement lubricator, turn the steam off, and lubricate the engine. The practicalities of running a model steamboat are always important to me. Any superstructure must be easily and readily removable, including the safety valve cover, but in reality I'm struggling with this. So using a device called a knurling tool that begins with a K in the lathe, I did this. This freshly knurled part on the safety valve cover makes it very easy to grab it and remove it from the safety valve, and I will now demonstrate this without the aid of a safety net. The safety valve cover is a good fit on the safety valve, it seals well on the O-rings at the bottom of it, and it's very easy to remove. A cloth will be required, of course, to remove this cover if the boiler's in steam, and this will grip the knurled part even better than fingers. Down in the depths of the boat lurks a fitting that I do not require. This was the original water inlet from the boat to the pump to the boiler, and I really do not want to use this in this installation. I don't want to fill the boiler with dirty lake water. That's definitely not a good idea. So I made this very simple fitting to cap off the water inlet to stop any water coming into the boat. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.